Hey, welcome back my mainframe friends. It's me, Steven, for New to Z, and in today's video we're going to explore the call or calls command. This is both a primary and a line command, and it allows you to display a ruler directly above your data. This is extremely helpful for new programmers because it provides a visual guide for aligning code and data, which is a common challenge when first learning languages that use fixed column formats. Yes, I'm looking at you, COBOL. So let's jump into it. If you're a new programmer, you've probably already run into this problem. Your code needs to be in a very specific column, but it's kind of hard to tell exactly where you are on the screen. Let's take a look at this COBOL program here, and we know that the identification, division, and the program ID should start in column 8, but how can we be sure of this? A common thing that I see with new developers is they will come over here and they will manually count their way over into these columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you can see how that would take a lot of time. Fortunately, the editor has a quicker way, and we can execute a primary command called COLS, or if COLS is too long for you, we can also use call. And this is a toggle. Once I press enter, we now have column indicators at the top of our document. This is great, but they don't exactly look like rulers that you would find in Microsoft Word, and they seem a little cryptic, but don't worry, I'll help you out here. This first plus here is number 5. You can see it starts at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it goes to 10, and then 15, and then 20, 25. You get the idea. And this is actually a little bit deceptive because it looks like there's 72 columns. And if you check up there in the top right, it also says that we're viewing columns 1 through 72. But guess what? There's actually a little bit more, and this doesn't technically apply to you in COBOL. But if we press the F11 key, we can see that we'll scroll all the way over, and our last column is actually column 80. So we're going to scroll back over to the left. And at this point, we now know that this is going up from column 1 to 80. So we're going to come over here to 5, and we're going to count over 6, 7, which is the comment or line continuation area. And we want to be in line 8, which is 1 over. This is real easy to do. We're going to press the insert key and space over 1 for each of these. That looks really good for now. So a couple things to note. I'm going to save this real quick. And a couple gotchas with, well, they're not really gotchas. A couple things to note about showing the column indicators here in the top like this through the primary command is, one, you can't really interact with it. That's okay. We don't need to do that. But also, if you're coming from the web development world, this is a sticky header, basically. And if I scroll down, you'll notice that that column indicator stays exactly where it is. This is the difference between the calls primary command and the calls line command. Is the calls line command is sticky and does not move. You also can't interact with it. And when we issue a line command here very shortly, you'll notice that we can not only delete that, but it also moves with the code. So let's take a look at the columns line command. The syntax is exactly the same. You can use calls or call to toggle the ruler directly above your code. And let's go ahead and do that right now. We're going to come down to just an arbitrary line here. We'll do line 6. We're going to type calls, and there it is. You can see we have lines 1 through 80, currently only showing 1 through 72, but we can use this to now come over here and address one of the other common issues I see with new COBOL programmers, or new programmers in general, is sometimes they don't line things up. And we can look here to our elementary items. We have emp first name and emp last name, and we can see that the pick is not aligned. It really doesn't have any impact on the compiler itself. However, visually, we want to make sure that things are nicely aligned so it improves code readability. In order to do this, I am going to come over here. I'm going to see where exactly this first one lines up at. And it looks like it's in line 28, so I'm going to come down to line 8. I'm going to press the insert key. I'm going to shift that over, and that looks pretty good. Now, remember we talked earlier about how a line command version of COLS is different from the header, and we'll demonstrate that right now. So if I press F8, you notice that the column indicators move with the code. And that's the big difference between the primary command COLS and the line command COLS, is that the primary command is sticky, whereas the COLS line command moves up and down with the code itself. Now, you can also have more than one of these if you so choose. Let's take a look at that right now. I'm going to come over here to the procedure division, type COLS again, and there we go. We have a brand new column indicator right there. We see that we've fixed the alignment of the picture clauses. However, I am now noticing that I have been a bad child and I didn't properly align the O5s with the beginning of the employee. And while this doesn't impact the compiler, it does make things line up nicely and it improves our visibility. Now we can also see here that in the procedure division, for whatever reason, we're starting our code in column 8, and we know that we need to start this in column 12. So let's go ahead and move those over to column 12. There we go, column 12, column 12, and it looks like things are nicely lined up now. All right, so what if we want to remove these? Well, because they're line commands, we can come up here, we can delete COLS and type the letter D, press enter, and it can be removed that way. We can also come up here to the command line and type reset, and that will take care of it as well. In this video, we learned about the COLS command and that it can be issued from both the primary and line command area, and it provides a nice visual guide for helping new programmers make sure all their code and data is lined up nicely. We learned that the COLS primary command cannot be edited, and it also doesn't scroll with the code. We also learned that the line command version can be edited, and it does scroll with the code. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please consider liking this video and subscribing. And as always, remember, green screens aren't so scary, and may the code be with you.